Understanding the psychology of musical preference. Why we like music. Hello everyone, back again with us, Stereopedia. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button to keep getting the latest updates from us. Music is a universal aspect of human culture that evokes a wide range of emotional, cognitive, and physiological responses. While individual preferences may vary widely, the underlying reasons why people like music are grounded in complex interactions between biological, psychological, and social factors. This article explores key theories and empirical findings on the psychological foundations of musical preference, focusing on emotional resonance, cognitive stimulation, identity formation, and social bonding. Understanding why we like music offers valuable insights into human behavior, cognition, and culture. Music has existed in every known human society and continues to be a central part of our daily lives. From lullabies to national anthems, music shapes our emotional experiences, social interactions, and even personal identity. But what underlies the enjoyment of music? Why do some melodies move us to tears while others fill us with energy and joy? This article explores the primary psychological reasons behind our affinity for music. Emotional resonance. Emotional resonance is perhaps the most immediate and compelling reason people are drawn to music. Music has a unique ability to evoke powerful emotional reactions, ranging from joy and excitement to sorrow and nostalgia. This emotional power is not random but is rooted in how our brains process sound and affective cues. Emotional expression in music. Music serves as a form of nonverbal emotional communication. Composers and performers embed emotions into musical elements such as melody, harmony, tempo, rhythm, dynamics, and timbre. For instance, a slow tempo and minor key often convey sadness or melancholy, while an upbeat rhythm and major key tend to evoke happiness or excitement. Jocelyn and Lauka, 2004. Listeners can decode these emotional signals intuitively, often without formal training, making music a universally understood emotional language. Mechanisms of emotional resonance. Researchers have identified several psychological mechanisms through which music elicits emotion, Jocelyn and Vastjol, 2008, including brainstem reflexes. Sudden, loud, or dissonant sounds can activate primitive brainstem responses, leading to alertness or arousal. Evaluative conditioning. Music associated with certain experiences, e.g., a song played during a wedding, can evoke the emotions of those moments when heard again. Emotional contagion. Listeners may mimic the emotional expression of the music internally, leading to genuine emotional experience. Musical expectancy. The tension and resolution created by harmonic progressions can trigger emotional responses, especially when musical patterns defy or fulfill the listener's expectations. Imaginative involvement. Music can stimulate mental imagery and inner narratives, allowing listeners to feel as if they are part of a story or emotional scene. Individual differences. While music's emotional impact is widespread, individual responses can vary based on personality, cultural background, past experiences, and even mood. For example, people high in openness to experience a personality trait linked with imagination and curiosity often report stronger emotional reactions to music, Greenberg et al., 2016. Similarly, a song that evokes sadness in one listener may evoke comfort or nostalgia in another, depending on their personal history. Music and emotional regulation. Another layer of emotional resonance is music's role in emotional self-regulation. People often turn to music to manage their moods, reduce stress, or amplify certain feelings. Listening to sad music, paradoxically, can help some individuals feel better by providing a safe space to explore their emotions or by fostering a sense of shared experience. Sarkalio and Urkala, 2007. Music can thus act as a form of emotional therapy, accessible, non-invasive, and deeply personal. Summary of key points in Section 2. Music communicates emotion through universally recognizable auditory cues. Emotional responses to music involve both automatic and learned processes. Mechanisms such as emotional contagion, expectancy, and associative memory help explain why music moves us. Personal differences influence emotional reactions to the same piece of music. Music serves as a tool for emotional regulation and well-being, cognitive stimulation, and pattern recognition. While music is an emotional experience, it is also deeply intellectual. Our brains are wired to recognize, predict, and interpret patterns and abilities central not only to survival but also to our enjoyment of complex stimuli like language, art, and especially music. The structured nature of music, its rhythms, melodies, harmonies, and phrasing offers rich cognitive stimulation that many listeners find intrinsically rewarding. Music as an auditory puzzle. Music engages the brain in pattern recognition, where listeners subconsciously detect recurring motifs, chord progressions, and rhythmic cycles. Just as the mind enjoys solving a puzzle or completing a pattern, it finds satisfaction in anticipating and confirming musical structure. For instance, when a musical phrase ends in a predictable cadence or when a rhythm resolves after a syncopated section, the brain experiences a form of cognitive reward, Huron, 2006. This process is closely tied to the concept of musical expectancy. When a composer subtly subverts or fulfills expected musical outcomes, it generates tension and releases core ingredients for musical pleasure. These moments of surprise or resolution activate brain areas related to prediction and reward, creating a mentally engaging experience. Neural activation and dopamine release. Neuroimaging studies have shown that listening to pleasurable music triggers activity in the brain's reward centers, including the ventral striatum, prefrontal cortex, and nucleus accumbens regions associated with motivation, pleasure, and learning, Zator and Salimpur, 2013. Interestingly, the brain releases dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter, not only when a musical climax occurs, but also during the anticipatory build-up. This reveals how much the brain values musical prediction and unfolding patterns. The role of complexity and familiarity. The optimal level of musical enjoyment often lies in a balance between complexity and familiarity. If a piece of music is too simple or repetitive, it may become boring. On the other hand, if it is too complex or unfamiliar, it can feel overwhelming or inaccessible. The Wundt curve, or inverted U theory, suggests that people tend to enjoy music that sits in a sweet spot between novelty and predictability. Berline, 1971. This balance stimulates the brain just enough to maintain engagement without causing cognitive overload. Additionally, repeated exposure to certain songs can increase preference over time, a phenomenon known as the mere exposure effect. As the brain becomes more familiar with a song's structure, it finds it easier to anticipate and mentally process, thus increasing the listener's enjoyment. Music and memory systems. Music also interacts with working memory and long-term memory. Learning and recalling melodies, lyrics, and rhythms exercises the brain's memory networks. For instance, people often remember lyrics from songs they heard decades ago, even if they forget day-to-day details. This close relationship between music and memory suggests that music activates a wide range of cognitive functions beyond immediate pleasure. In fact, music has been used therapeutically in Alzheimer's and dementia care because familiar tunes can trigger long-term memories and emotions, even when other cognitive faculties have declined. Simmons-Stern et al., 2010. Summary of key points in Section 3. Music provides cognitive pleasure through pattern recognition, prediction, and resolution. The brain responds to musical structure with dopamine release, linking cognition with emotional reward. The enjoyment of music often depends on the right mix of complexity and familiarity. Music engages memory systems and has practical therapeutic applications in neurological care. Identity and self-expression. Music is more than just sound, it's a medium through which individuals express who they are, what they feel, and how they relate to the world around them. From adolescence through adulthood, people use music as a mirror of the self, a social signal, and a personal soundtrack that reflects their values, beliefs, moods, and memories. Musical preferences often become an integral part of one's identity formation and self-expression. Music and personal identity. Throughout life, especially during adolescence, a key stage for identity development, individuals begin to define themselves in part by their taste in music. Studies have shown that teenagers often identify strongly with specific music genres, e.g., punk, hip-hop, metal, pop, because these styles represent attitudes, social positions, and emotional experiences that resonate with their inner world. North, Hargreaves, and O'Neill, 2000. Choosing a genre is often less about the sound itself and more about what the music stands for. For example, someone drawn to alternative or indie music may identify with its themes of independence and authenticity, while someone who prefers classical music may value tradition, structure, or introspective emotion. Music thus becomes a tool for exploring and expressing personal identity, both privately and publicly. Music as social signal. Musical taste also serves as a social identifier, signaling affiliation with particular cultural, ethnic, or ideological groups. For example, music tied to specific regions or communities like reggae in Rastafarian culture or hip-hop in urban youth movements can signify belonging and shared experience. In social settings, the music someone listens to can influence how others perceive them, shaping impressions of intelligence, lifestyle, or values. Renfro and Gosling, 2003. This signaling function makes music an important part of self-presentation, allowing individuals to project certain traits or associations through their playlists, concert choices, or even fashion inspired by musical subcultures. Emotional self-expression through music. Beyond signaling identity, music also provides a direct channel for emotional self-expression. People often use music to articulate feelings they struggle to put into words. Lyrics, melodies, or moods in a song can speak for us, providing validation and catharsis. A sad song might say, "This is how I feel," while an energetic track may express empowerment or defiance. Moreover, creating music, whether through songwriting, singing, or playing an instrument, offers a literal form of self-expression. Musicians often describe composing or performing as a way of releasing emotions, telling personal stories, or exploring aspects of the self that might be suppressed in other contexts. Music and the evolving self. As individuals grow and change, so too does their relationship with music. The songs people listen to at different life stages often reflect their evolving identities, from youthful rebellion to mature introspection. Favorite tracks from the past can serve as identity markers, anchoring people to former versions of themselves and offering continuity in the story of the self. Denora, 2000. Because of this personal and temporal connection, many people curate playlists not only for enjoyment, but to document who they are or were at a given time, a musical autobiography of sorts. Summary of key points in Section 4. Music plays a crucial role in identity formation, especially during adolescence. Musical taste can serve as a social signal, helping individuals express group affiliations or personal values. People use music to articulate emotions and aspects of the self that are hard to express otherwise. Musical preferences evolve over time, often reflecting changes in personal identity and life experience. Social connection and bonding. Music is inherently social. Across cultures and throughout history, it has served as a unifying force, bringing people together during rituals, celebrations, protests, and everyday social life. One of the most compelling reasons people enjoy music is its ability to create, strengthen, and symbolize social bonds. Whether through shared listening experiences or collective music making, music functions as a form of social glue, fostering emotional intimacy and communal identity. Evolutionary foundations of musical bonding. From an evolutionary perspective, some researchers argue that music developed, in part, to enhance group cohesion and cooperation. In prehistoric societies, synchronized music and movement like drumming or dancing may have helped early humans signal safety, establish trust, and promote unity within tribes. Dunbar, 2012. The synchronization of rhythm and movement during music making is thought to trigger the release of neurochemicals like oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, which increases feelings of trust and social connection. Tarr, Loney, and Dunbar, 2014. This physiological response reinforces the social benefits of shared musical experiences. Music in rituals and ceremonies. In many cultures, music is a central component of rituals and communal gatherings, weddings, funerals, religious ceremonies, national holidays, and rites of passage. These musical rituals help to define group identity, signal transitions, and create a shared emotional atmosphere. For instance, National anthems unify citizens, while hymns bring congregations together in shared spiritual experience. Such practices highlight music's unique capacity to shape collective memory and provide emotional continuity across generations. Group identity and belonging. Music also plays a key role in expressing and reinforcing group identity, especially among youth and subcultures. Musical genres like punk, hip-hop, or K-pop are not just about sound, they embody lifestyles, attitudes, and cultural values. Fans who align with these genres often feel a strong sense of belonging to a musical tribe, complete with shared aesthetics, language, and community rituals. In this way, music helps individuals find their people, those who share similar worldviews, tastes, or emotional needs. Shared listening and collective experience. Shared musical experiences such as attending concerts, singing in choirs, or dancing at clubs create a profound sense of togetherness. These moments are often described as collective effervescence, a term coined by sociologist Emil Durkheim to describe the heightened emotional energy that emerges during group rituals. Even in digital spaces, music continues to foster social interaction. People share playlists, bond over favorite artists online, or participate in global streaming events. These virtual connections can be just as meaningful, especially for those who feel socially isolated in their physical environments. Music in intimate relationships. On a more personal level, music is frequently used to strengthen one-on-one relationships. Couples may have their song, families may sing lullabies, and friends may bond over shared musical tastes. These musical connections often become symbolic markers of emotional intimacy and shared history. Summary of key points in Section 5. Music promotes group cohesion through synchronization, shared emotions, and neurochemical bonding. It plays a key role in rituals, ceremonies, and social identity formation. Shared listening experiences both in person and online enhance feelings of belonging and community. Music is used to express and deepen emotional bonds in personal relationships. Certainly. Here's the expanded version of Section 6. Nostalgia and memory, exploring how music interacts with our memories and evokes powerful emotional responses tied to the past. Nostalgia and memory. One of the most deeply personal reasons people love music lies in its remarkable ability to evoke memories and stir feelings of nostalgia. Music is more than an auditory experience. It is often a vessel for emotional time travel, capable of transporting listeners to specific moments in their lives. Whether it's a childhood lullaby, a teenage anthem, or a song that played during a life-changing event, music forms powerful associations with memory, identity, and emotional states. Music as a memory cue. The connection between music and memory is well documented in both psychological and neurological research. Music serves as a strong external cue that can trigger autobiographical memories, personal recollections tied to specific times, places, and emotions. These memories are often vivid, emotionally rich, and resistant to forgetting. This phenomenon, sometimes referred to as the reminiscence bump, shows that people tend to recall music from their adolescence and early adulthood more vividly than music from other periods in life. This is because those years are crucial for identity formation, and music experience during that time becomes embedded in the personal narrative of the self. Krumhansel and Zupnik, 2013. Neurological mechanisms of music and memory. Brain imaging studies reveal that music activates regions of the brain associated with memory, including the hippocampus, amygdala, and prefrontal cortex. Interestingly, music-related memories can sometimes remain accessible even in individuals with memory impairments, such as Alzheimer's disease. This resilience is likely because music engages multiple neural pathways, making memories formed with music more robust and emotionally charged. Jacobson et al., 2015. This makes music not only a tool for enjoyment, but also a powerful aid in cognitive therapy and reminiscence interventions, helping patients reconnect with their past and improve emotional well-being. The power of nostalgia. Nostalgia, the sentimental longing for the past, is one of the most powerful emotional experiences music can evoke. Songs associated with better times can provide emotional comfort, a sense of continuity, and even a temporary escape from present stressors or uncertainty. This explains why people often turn to music from their youth during difficult times or periods of change. Far from being merely escapist, nostalgia triggered by music can serve positive psychological functions. It can boost mood, increase self-esteem, reinforce social bonds by recalling shared experiences, and help individuals cope with feelings of loneliness or loss. Barrett et al., 2010. Music as a personal archive. Many people curate personal playlists or keep collections of songs that mark specific periods or milestones in their lives. These musical archives function as a soundtrack to the self, a form of emotional and experiential journaling that can be revisited at will. For example, a certain song may instantly recall the feeling of a first love, a family road trip, a graduation day, or a farewell. The combination of melody, lyrics, and mood becomes an encapsulated emotional memory that transcends words. Summary of key points in Section 6. Music serves as a powerful trigger for autobiographical memories and emotional recall. Songs from formative life periods are especially memorable due to their role in identity development. Music activates multiple brain areas involved in memory and emotion, making it a resilient tool for recall, even in cognitive decline. Nostalgic music provides comfort, emotional regulation, and a sense of personal continuity. People often curate music collections as a personal emotional archive, mapping life through sound. Biological and neurological bases. Beyond its emotional, cognitive, and social appeal, music also resonates with us on a biological and neurological level. Scientific research has shown that our enjoyment of music is deeply rooted in how our brains and bodies are wired. The experience of music involves a complex interplay between auditory processing, emotional circuits, motor responses, and reward systems, making music a truly whole-brain phenomenon. The brain on music, a multi-system activation. Listening to music activates multiple brain regions simultaneously, including the auditory cortex, which processes sound characteristics like pitch, rhythm, and timbre. The prefrontal cortex, involved in expectation, decision-making, and memory retrieval. The amygdala, responsible for emotional responses. The motor cortex and cerebellum, which are activated even when we are simply listening, not moving, highlighting music's rhythmic and movement-inducing qualities. The nucleus accumbens and ventral tegmental area, VDA, both central to the dopaminergic reward system. This widespread activation helps explain why music can affect us so deeply and instantly emotionally, physically, and mentally. The reward system and dopamine release. One of the most important biological explanations for why people enjoy music involves the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure, motivation, and reinforcement. Studies using fMRI and PET scans have shown that listening to music you enjoy leads to dopamine release, particularly in anticipation of emotionally powerful passages or during musical high points. Salimpur et al., 2011. This is the same reward circuitry activated by food, sex, exercise, and social bonding, suggesting that music taps into evolutionarily conserved pleasure systems, even though it is not a survival necessity. Rhythm, entrainment, and the body. The human brain is exceptionally sensitive to rhythm and beat, a phenomenon known as neural entrainment. When we listen to rhythmic music, our brainwaves and even our bodily functions like heart rate and breathing can synchronize with the tempo. This connection explains why music can calm or energize us, influence physical coordination, help with rehabilitation in neurological disorders, e.g., Parkinson's disease. This entrainment process also makes music uniquely suited to dance, exercise, and communal rituals, where body and rhythm align in synchrony. Music, hormones, and stress reduction. Music has been shown to influence the endocrine system, affecting hormones that regulate mood and stress. For instance, listening to calming music can lower levels of cortisol, the primary stress hormone, and reduce blood pressure and heart rate. This makes music a natural tool for relaxation and emotional regulation. Thomas et al., 2013. Additionally, engaging in musical activities, especially group singing or drumming, can increase oxytocin and endorphin levels, enhancing feelings of trust, social connection, and well-being. Music and brain plasticity. Engaging with music, particularly through learning an instrument or singing, has long-term benefits for brain development and plasticity. Musicians often show increased connectivity between brain hemispheres, enhanced auditory discrimination, and stronger memory and attention skills. This evidence supports music as a cognitively enriching activity with lasting neurological benefits across the lifespan, from early childhood through old age. Summary of key points in Section 7. Music activates a broad network of brain regions, engaging cognitive, emotional, and motor systems. It stimulates the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine and creating pleasure. A rhythmic entrainment links music to bodily responses, enabling coordination and emotional shifts. Music modulates hormones related to stress and bonding, promoting relaxation and connection. Learning and engaging with music supports brain development, plasticity, and lifelong cognitive health. The enjoyment of music is a multifaceted phenomenon that encompasses emotional, cognitive, social, and neurological components. From stirring our deepest feelings to helping us connect with others, music is a uniquely human experience that transcends culture and language. By understanding why we like music, we gain deeper insight into the nature of emotion, thought, memory, and society itself.